Welcome to John Carter Stories. I was in the garage installing a new baby monitor when I heard my wife's voice come through the speaker. He's in the garage. We have maybe 20 minutes. My hand froze on the screwdriver. Then I heard a man's voice. In my living room, in the house I paid for. You sure he won't come back in? My wife laughed. That laugh I used to love. That laugh that used to make me feel like the luckiest man alive. Please, she said. He's too stupid to notice anything. I could bring you here every day, and he'd never figure it out. Deep breath, shaky. The man laughed too. What about the baby monitor? He's setting it up in the garage like an idiot. He thinks he's so handy. Meanwhile, I've been texting you from the nursery for 3 months. My heart stopped. 3 months. Our daughter Lily was 4 months old. I looked down at the monitor in my hand. The one I just synced, the one that was now broadcasting every word from our living room directly into my ear. How much longer are you going to string him along? The man asked. Pause. Until the paperwork is ready, she said. Her voice was cold, calculated. My lawyer says 6 more weeks. Then I file, take the house, the car, and child support. He won't know what hit him. I stood there in my garage, surrounded by tools I collected over 15 years of marriage, listening to my wife plan my destruction. And then she said the thing that changed everything. The best part? He thinks Lily is his. Sound of screwdriver clattering. The screwdriver fell from my hand and hit the concrete floor. If you want to know what I did in the next 60 seconds that saved my entire life, please subscribe and like this video and listen to my story till the end, and let me know which city you're listening from. That way, I can see how far my story has traveled. Because what I heard next made me realize I wasn't just losing a wife. I was losing everything. Deep, shaky breath. My name is Marcus Chun. I'm 39 years old, and I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm a senior software engineer at a tech company downtown. Good job, good salary, benefits. For 01k, the kind of stable career that's supposed to be the foundation of a good life. I met my wife, Nicole, 8 years ago at a friend's wedding. She was a bridesmaid. I was a groomsman. We danced. We laughed. We exchanged numbers under a string of white lights while the DJ played something slow and romantic. 6 months later, I proposed on a hiking trail at sunrise. She cried. I cried. It felt like the beginning of everything. A year after that, we got married in the same venue where we met. For 5 years, it was good. Not perfect, no marriages, but good. We traveled to Portugal, to Iceland, to places I'd only seen in travel magazines. We bought a house in Highlands Ranch. We talked about starting a family someday. Then, 2 years ago, Nicole got pregnant, voice breaking slightly. I cried when she told me. Happy tears, the kind that come from a place so deep you didn't even know existed. We painted the nursery together. Soft mint green walls, white furniture, a mobile with little stars and moons that played Brahms' lullaby. Lily was born on a Tuesday morning in April. 7 pounds, 5 ounces. Perfect. I held her in the hospital, and I felt my entire world shift. Everything before that moment suddenly felt like a rough draft. This was the real story. This was what mattered. I took 2 weeks of paternity leave. I changed diapers at 3 in the morning. I learned to swaddle, to burp, to decode the different types of cries. Hungry cry, tired cry, diaper cry, just want to be held cry. Nicole seemed distant afterward, but I chalked it up to postpartum recovery. Everyone said the first few months were brutal. She'll come around. My mom said, give her time. So I gave her time. I took on more of the household work. I cooked. I cleaned. I did laundry. I wanted to make things easier for her. I thought I was being a good husband. Bitter laugh. I didn't realize I was being a fool. The baby monitor was supposed to be an upgrade. We had an old one, basic audio, crackling connection, terrible range. It worked, but barely. I'd spent weeks researching monitors online, reading reviews, comparing features. Finally, I bought a new one. Video, two-way audio, temperature sensor, night vision, the works. Top of the line. I was excited to set it up, excited to do something that felt useful. That Saturday morning, Nicole said she was tired. Asked if I could handle the installation while she rested. Of course, I said. Take a nap. I've got this. She smiled, kissed my cheek. You're the best, she said. Pause. I grabbed my tools and headed to the garage to prep the mounting hardware. The monitor had 2 units, one for the nursery, one portable receiver. I synced them both, tested the connection. That's when I heard it. Static, then voices. I frowned. The nursery unit wasn't supposed to be on yet. I hadn't even mounted it. Then I realized the portable unit was picking up the base station I'd set up in the living room to test the range. And Nicole's voice came through crystal clear. He's in the garage. We have maybe 20 minutes. I stood there, frozen, staring at the small screen in my hand. Then a man's voice. You sure he won't come back in? My wife laughed. Please. He's too stupid to notice anything. I could bring you here every day, and he'd never figure it out. Long pause, breathing heavily. My brain couldn't process it. This had to be a mistake. A cross signal. Someone else's conversation bleeding through on the same frequency. But then she said my name. Marcus is so focused on being super dad. He doesn't see anything else. It's pathetic, really. The man laughed. What about the baby monitor? He's setting it up in the garage like an idiot. He thinks he's so handy. Meanwhile, I've been texting you from the nursery for 3 months. 3 months. Lily was 4 months old. The math hit me like a freight train. Voice shaking. How much longer are you going to string him along? The man asked. Until the paperwork is ready. My lawyer says 6 more weeks. Then I file. Take the house, the car, and child support. He won't know what hit him. I felt my knees go weak. I grabbed the workbench to steady myself. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. But then she said the thing that shattered everything. The best part? He thinks Lily is his. Sound of metal hitting concrete. The screwdriver fell from my hand. The clatter echoed in the garage. On the monitor, I heard Nicole pause. What was that? Probably just him dropping something. The man said, You said he's clumsy. She laughed again. Yeah, he is. Breathing heavily, trying not to make noise. I stood there, hand over my mouth, trying not to make a sound, trying not to scream, trying not to run inside and confront them both. But no, I forced myself to breathe, to think. If I went in there now, if I confronted them, I'd lose. I'd be emotional, irrational. She'd spin it. She'd make me the bad guy. She'd deny everything, and I'd have nothing. I needed proof. I needed a plan. I looked down at the monitor in my hand, and I pressed record. The new monitor had a feature I'd almost skipped during setup: cloud recording, automatic backup of all audio and video to a secure server. I'd enabled it, thinking it would be useful for checking on Lily when we weren't home. Now it was recording everything. Pause. I pulled out my phone, opened the app, confirmed that the last 10 minutes of audio were already saved, uploaded, backed up. My wife's voice, the man's voice, every damning word. I stood there in my garage, listening as they continued talking. So what's the plan after you file? The man asked. I move into your place, Nicole said. Marcus keeps the house for now, but with child support and alimony, he won't be able to afford it. He'll have to sell within a year, and then we buy it at a discount. He'll be desperate. The man laughed. You're cold. I'm practical, she corrected. I gave him 8 years. I played the part. Now it's time to cash out. Long pause. What about Lily? There was a pause. What about her? Nicole's voice was flat. Empty. You really think he's not the father? Another pause. Longer this time. I don't know, she admitted. Could be him. Could be you. Could be someone else. Voice breaking. My stomach turned. You don't know? The man's voice had an edge now. Does it matter? Nicole snapped. Marcus's name is on the birth certificate. He's on the hook either way. Jesus, Nicole. Don't get squeamish on me now. Trevor, this is what we planned. Trevor. I knew that name. Trevor Dawson. Nicole's co-worker. I'd met him at a company holiday party 2 years ago. He'd shaken my hand, complimented my watch, told me I was a lucky guy. I'd agreed. Shaky breath. I listened for another 5 minutes. They talked logistics. When he'd leave, when they'd meet next, how to keep me in the dark. Then I heard movement. I should go, Trevor said. Before he finishes, yeah, text me when you get home. I will. A pause. Then sounds I didn't want to hear. Kissing. Pause. I turned off the monitor, saved the recording, and walked back into my house. Nicole was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up when I walked in. Hey, how's it going? I forced a smile. Good. Just need to mount the camera in the nursery. Need help? Nah, I've got it. I walked past her, up the stairs, into Lily's room. She was asleep in her crib, tiny fists curled, chest rising and falling, voice soft, emotional. I stood there, looking down at her. Was she mine? I didn't know. And in that moment, I realized something. It didn't matter. I'd been there when she was born. I'd held her, fed her, changed her, rocked her to sleep at 2 a.m. when nothing else would calm her down. Biology might be a question mark, but fatherhood, that was already decided. I was her dad, and I was going to protect her. End of part 1. You're probably wondering what I did next, how I kept my cool, how I didn't fall apart right there in that nursery. The truth is, I almost did, but then I remembered something my father told me when I was a kid. Son, when someone shows you who they really are, believe them, and then act accordingly. Stay with me, because what happened next changed everything. I mounted the camera, synced it, tested it, then I went back downstairs. Nicole was still on the couch, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened, like she hadn't just been planning my destruction with another man in our living room. All done? She asked without looking up. Yep, works perfectly. Great. I sat down next to her. Pause. Hey, can I ask you something? She finally looked up. Sure. Are you happy? With us. With our life. She studied my face for a moment. Why are you asking? I don't know. I just want to make sure you're okay. You seem distant lately. Long pause. Her expression softened. She reached over and touched my hand. I'm fine, Marcus. Just tired. You know how it is with a baby. Yeah, I said. I know. She squeezed my hand. You're a good husband and a great dad. Pause. I looked into her eyes and I saw nothing. No guilt, no remorse, no truth, just performance. Thanks, I said. She went back to her phone. I went back to planning. Deep breath. That night, after Nicole went to bed, I sat in my home office and made a list. Things I know. 1. Nicole is having an affair with Trevor Dawson. 2. She's planning to file for divorce in 6 weeks. 3. She's been meeting with a lawyer. 4. She's unsure if Lily is biologically mine. 5. She's planning to take the house, the car, and maximum child support. 6. She thinks I'm too stupid to notice. Pause. Things I need. 1. Paternity test. 2. Divorce attorney. 3. Financial records. 4. More evidence. 5. A plan. I stared at the list for a long time. Then I added one more line. Rule number 1. She can't know I know. Pause. The next morning, I acted normal. Made breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, coffee. Changed Lily's diaper. Kissed Nicole goodbye when she left for work. Have a good day, I said. You too, babe. The door closed, and I got to work. Pause. First, the paternity test. I ordered discreet DNA kit online. Express shipping. It would arrive the next day. Second, the lawyer. I called 4 firms. Left messages. Said I needed a consultation for a sensitive family matter. Third, finances. I logged into our bank accounts and started taking screenshots. Every transaction. Every balance. Every statement going back 2 years. And I noticed something immediately. Pause. Cash withdrawals. $200 here. $300 there. Always on Fridays. I cross-referenced with my calendar. Every single withdrawal lined up with the day Nicole said she was working late. I documented everything. By noon, I had a file folder an inch thick. Pause. The first lawyer called back that afternoon. Her name was Patricia Monroe, 64 years old, 32 years of family law experience. Her voice was calm, steady, the kind of voice that made you feel like you were finally talking to someone who understood. "Mr. Chun," she said, "tell me what's going on." I told her everything. The monitor, the conversation, the affair, the plan. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Do you have recordings?" "Yes." "Good. Email them to me. Encrypted." "Okay." Pause. "How's your relationship with your wife right now?" "She thinks everything is fine." "Keep it that way. Don't confront her. Don't change your behavior. Act normal." "That's the plan." "Good. Because here's what's going to happen. She's going to file. She's going to ask for the house, alimony, child support. She's going to paint you as an absent father or a bad husband or both. I'm neither. I know, but she'll try. And if you give her any warning, she'll prepare. She'll hide assets. She'll coach her story. We need the element of surprise." Deep breath. "So what do I do?" "You wait. You document. And when she files, we hit back with everything." "What about Lily?" The paternity question. Patricia paused. "That's complicated. If you're on the birth certificate, you're the legal father regardless of biology. But if you want to challenge paternity, we can. It might affect child support calculations." Voice firm. "I don't care about the money," I said. "I care about Lily." Then we fight for custody. And we use the affair as evidence that she's not fit to be the primary parent. Can we win? With what you have? Yes. Pause, emotional. For the first time in 24 hours, I felt something other than dread. I felt hope. The DNA kit arrived the next day. I waited until Nicole left for work. Then I went into Lily's room. She was awake, looking up at me with those big brown eyes. "Hey, sweetheart," I whispered. Soft, gentle. I swabbed the inside of her cheek. Gentle, quick. She didn't even fuss. Then I swabbed my own, sealed the samples, filled out the paperwork, mailed it that afternoon. Results in 3 to 5 business days. Pause. I kept listening to the baby monitor, not obsessively, strategically. I learned that Trevor came over every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, always when I was at work. I learned that Nicole had already picked out furniture for Trevor's apartment. Our apartment, she corrected him once. Every conversation was recorded, backed up, saved. By the end of week 2, I had over 40 hours of audio. Patricia called it a prosecutor's dream. Deep breath. The DNA results came back on a Wednesday. I was at work when the email arrived. I stared at the subject line for a full minute before opening it. Paternity test results confidential. My hand shook as I clicked. The report loaded. Pages of technical jargon. Charts. Percentages. I scrolled to the bottom. Long pause. Conclusion. The probability of paternity is 99.98%. Voice breaking. I read it 3 times. Lily was mine. Biologically. Legally. Completely mine. I put my head in my hands and cried. Not from sadness. From relief. Whatever else happened, whatever Nicole had done, Lily was mine. And no one was taking her from me. Shaky breath. That night, I held Lily a little longer. Fed her. Rocked her. Sang to her. Nicole came home late. Working late again. She smelled like cologne that wasn't mine. "How was your day?" I asked. "Exhausting." She said, "I'm going to take a bath." "Okay." She disappeared upstairs. I sat in the living room, Lily asleep on my chest, and felt the weight of what was coming. The confrontation. The divorce. The custody battle. But I wasn't afraid anymore. I had proof. I had a lawyer. I had a plan. And most importantly, I had the truth. Pause. Week 4. Patricia called. She's going to file soon. I can feel it. How do you know? Because I've seen this 1,000 times. She's getting sloppy. Confident. She thinks she's won. So what do we do? Long pause. We file first. I blinked. What? We file first. Tomorrow, we catch her off guard. But I thought. I know what I said, but the situation has changed. You have everything you need. And if we wait for her to file, we're playing defense. If we file first, we control the narrative. Pause. What about the element of surprise? This is a surprise. She thinks she has 6 more weeks. We're going to hit her tomorrow. I took a breath. Okay, let's do it. The next morning, I woke up before dawn. Nicole was still asleep beside me. I looked at her for a moment, this woman I'd loved for 8 years, and felt absolutely nothing. I got dressed quietly, kissed Lily goodbye, left a note on the kitchen counter, took an early meeting, be home tonight, love you. Then I drove to Patricia's office. Pause. She had the papers ready. Petition for divorce. Request for full custody. Evidence of adultery attached. I signed every page. My hand was steady. No hesitation. What happens now? I asked. Now we file. And then we serve her. Long pause. When? Today. My stomach dropped. Today? Today. At her office. In front of her co-workers. In front of Trevor. Pause. I stared at her. You're serious? You want to send a message? This is how you send a message. I thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. Do it. Deep breath. At 4:27 p.m., Nicole was served. I wasn't there, but Patricia's process server was. He walked into her office building, asked for Nicole Chen, was directed to her desk, and handed her the papers in front of 15 coworkers, including Trevor. Pause. Patricia called me 20 minutes later. It's done. How did she react? According to the server, she went pale, started shaking, asked if this was a joke. He told her it wasn't. She has 30 days to respond. Long pause. I sat in my car, hands on the steering wheel, and exhaled. What happens next? She'll call you, probably in the next hour. She'll be angry, maybe crying. She'll want to know why you didn't talk to her first. What do I say? Nothing. Don't answer. Let her leave voicemails. Let her text. Every message is evidence of her state of mind. Okay. Pause. Marcus. Yeah. You did the right thing. I hope she was right. Shaky breath. Nicole called 17 times in the next 2 hours. I didn't answer. The voicemail started calm. Marcus, what's going on? Call me. Then confused. I don't understand. Why would you file for divorce? We can talk about this. Then angry. You can't just blindside me like this. I'm your wife. Then desperate. Please, Marcus. Please call me. We need to talk about Lily. Pause. I listened to every message, saved every one, and didn't respond. At 6 o'clock, I came home. Nicole's car was in the driveway. I walked in. She was sitting on the couch. Paper spread around her, eyes red and swollen. Marcus. I held up a hand. Don't. Pause. We need to talk. No, we don't. I walked past her, up the stairs, into Lily's room. She was asleep. I picked her up gently. She stirred but didn't wake. I grabbed her diaper bag, her favorite blanket, a few changes of clothes. Pause. Nicole appeared in the doorway. What are you doing? I'm taking Lily to my parents' house. You can't do that. I can, and I am. Voice breaking. Marcus, please. I turned to face her. You told Trevor I was too stupid to notice. You planned to take everything from me. You weren't even sure if Lily was mine. Her face went white. Whispered, how did you? I pulled out my phone, opened the app, pressed play. Her voice filled the room. He's too stupid to notice anything. I could bring you here every day, and he'd never figure it out. I stopped the recording. Pause. I heard everything, Nicole. Every word. Every plan. Every lie. She opened her mouth. Closed it. The baby monitor, she whispered. The baby monitor. Long pause. Tears started falling. Marcus, I can explain. No, you can't. I walked past her, Lily in my arms, and headed for the door. Marcus, wait. I stopped, turned. Voice cold, steady. You wanted a divorce. You got one. My lawyer will be in touch. And I left. Deep breath. The custody hearing was 3 weeks later. Nicole's lawyer tried to paint me as vindictive, as a husband who couldn't forgive a mistake. Patricia played the recordings. All of them. Nicole's voice, clear as day, planning my destruction, planning to take everything, admitting she didn't know if Lily was mine. Pause. The judge's face hardened with every word. When the recordings finished, Nicole's lawyer had nothing. The judge awarded me full custody. Nicole got supervised visitation every other weekend. Pause. She cried, begged, promised to change. The judge didn't budge. Mrs. Chun, he said, his voice hard, you treated your marriage like a business transaction. You planned to defraud your husband. You showed no remorse, no honesty, no integrity. He looked at me. Mr. Chun has demonstrated that he is the stable, loving parent this child needs. Bang of gavel. Custody awarded to the father. Long pause, emotional. I sat there trying to process it. I'd won. Lily was mine. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my living room. Lily is on a playmat, reaching for a stuffed giraffe. The house is quiet, peaceful, soft content. Vanessa moved in with Trevor 3 months ago. Last I heard, they're taking a break. Turns out when you build a relationship on lies and betrayal, it doesn't last. Who would have thought? Pause. I sold the house. Too many memories. Too many ghosts. Bought a smaller place closer to my parents. 2 bedrooms. Backyard. Quiet neighborhood. Started therapy. Started healing. And every night, I tuck Lily into bed, kiss her forehead, and tell her she's loved. Voice soft, emotional, because that's what matters. Not the betrayal, not the lies, not the recordings or the lawyers or the custody battle. Just this, a father and his daughter, safe, together, home. Pause. People ask me sometimes if I regret how I handled it, if I wish I confronted Nicole instead of recording her, if I wish I tried to work things out. And the answer is no, not even a little bit, because here's what I learned. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. When someone plans your destruction, document it. And when someone underestimates you, let them. Pause. Nicole thought I was stupid. She thought I'd never notice. She thought she could manipulate me, control me, take everything from me, and walk away clean. She was wrong. And the irony is, if she'd just been honest, if she'd come to me and said, Marcus, I'm not happy. I want a divorce. I would have been heartbroken, but I would have worked with her. We could have co-parented, split things fairly, moved on with dignity. But she didn't want fair. She wanted to win. And in trying to take everything, she lost it all. Deep breath. The recordings were the key. Without them, it would have been my word against hers. And in family court, that's a coin flip. But with 40 hours of audio, with her own voice laying out her plans, her lies, her manipulation, there was no ambiguity. The truth was undeniable. Pause. Patricia told me afterward that it was one of the most clear-cut custody cases she'd ever handled. Most of the time, she said, it's he said, she said, character witnesses, competing narratives. But you had her own words. You had evidence. You had the truth. Pause. I think about my dad's advice a lot. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Nicole showed me, and I believed her. Shaky breath. Therapy has helped. A lot. My therapist, Dr. Patel, is this kind, patient woman in her 50s who specializes in trauma and betrayal. She told me something in our 3rd session that I think about all the time. Marcus, she said, what happened to you wasn't just infidelity. It was betrayal on multiple levels. Your wife, your trust, your sense of reality. And worst of all, she tried to take your daughter. Pause. That's not something you just get over. That's something you process piece by piece until it doesn't have power over you anymore. So that's what I've been doing. Processing, piece by piece. Some days are good. I wake up, make Lily breakfast, go to work, come home, play with her, read her stories, and feel genuinely happy. Other days are hard. I see a couple walking together in the park and feel the loss all over again. Not the loss of Nicole specifically, but the loss of what I thought we had. The life I thought we were building. Pause. But even on the hard days, I have Lily, and she's worth everything. Soft, emotional. She's 2 years old now, talking in full sentences, running everywhere, Obsessed with dinosaurs and Daniel Tiger. She doesn't remember the chaos, the recordings, the custody battle. She just knows that Daddy loves her, that she's safe, that she's home, and that's all that matters. Deep breath. Nicole sees her every other weekend. Supervised visits at a family center. The supervisor told me Nicole mostly sits on her phone while Lily plays. Doesn't engage much. Doesn't ask questions. It's like she's going through the motions because the court ordered it. Not because she actually wants to be there. And honestly, I've stopped being angry about it. If she doesn't want to be a mother, I can't force her. All I can do is be the best father I can be. Pause. Trevor left her, by the way. I heard through mutual friends. Turns out he wasn't interested in playing stepdad. And once the affair lost its thrill, once the secrecy and excitement were gone, there was nothing left. Nicole called me once, about 4 months after the divorce was finalized. I almost didn't answer, but something in me, maybe curiosity, maybe closure, picked up. Long pause. Marcus. Her voice was small, uncertain. What do you want, Nicole? Pause. I want to say I'm sorry. I didn't respond. I know that doesn't mean anything now. I know I destroyed everything, but I need you to know I'm sorry. Pause, voice cold. You're right, I said. It doesn't mean anything. Marcus, you weren't sorry when you were planning to take everything from me. You weren't sorry when you told Trevor I was too stupid to notice. You weren't sorry when you admitted you didn't even know if Lily was mine. Pause. You're only sorry now because you got caught. She started crying. I made a mistake. No, I said. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. What you did was calculated, planned, cruel. Long pause. I have to go. Don't call me again unless it's about Lily. I hung up, and I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no satisfaction. Just nothing. Deep breath. Tell me in the comments. And if you've dealt with something similar, share your story. You're not alone. Subscribe for more stories about standing your ground and reclaiming your life. Pause. People think revenge is about confrontation, about yelling, fighting, making a scene. But sometimes the best revenge is documentation. Sometimes the best weapon isn't your voice. It's theirs. So here's what I'd tell you if you're going through something like this right now. If you're sitting in your garage or your car or your bedroom, listening to something you were never supposed to hear, feeling your entire world collapse around you. Deep breath. First, breathe. I know it feels impossible. I know your chest is tight and your hands are shaking and you feel like you're drowning. But breathe, because you need to think clearly. And you can't think clearly if you're drowning. Pause. Second, don't confront them yet. I know you want to. I know every fiber of your being is screaming at you to run in there and demand answers and make them look you in the eye and admit what they've done. But don't. Not yet. Because if you confront them now, they'll deny it. They'll gaslight you. They'll make you feel crazy. And worst of all, they'll start covering their tracks. Pause, voice firm. You need proof. You need documentation. You need evidence that's undeniable, unspinnable, irrefutable. So record everything. Save everything. Screenshot everything. Bank statements. Text messages. Emails. Voicemails. Every lie. Every inconsistency. Every piece of the puzzle. Because when the time comes, you're going to need it. Deep breath. Third, get a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. A good one. One who specializes in family law. One who's seen cases like yours 100 times and knows exactly how to handle them. Don't try to navigate this alone. You need someone who can see the forest when all you can see are trees. Someone who can strategize, plan, protect your rights, and fight for you when you're too exhausted to fight for yourself. Pause. Fourth, protect your kids. If you have children, they are your priority. Not revenge, not justice, not even the truth. Document everything that proves you're the stable parent, the one who shows up, the one who cares. Because family court isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about who can provide the best environment for the child. So be that person. Pause, emotional. Fifth, take care of yourself. I know that sounds impossible right now. I know you're running on adrenaline, and heartbreak and 3 hours of sleep. But you have to take care of yourself. Eat, sleep, shower, exercise, talk to someone, a therapist, a friend, a family member, someone you trust, because this is trauma. And trauma doesn't just go away because you're too busy to deal with it. It sits inside you, growing until you give it space to be processed. So give it space. Deep breath. 6. Remember that you are not stupid. You are not blind. You are not naive. You trusted someone you loved. That's not a weakness. That's what you're supposed to do in a relationship. They betrayed that trust. That's on them, not you. Pause, voice firm. You are not the villain in this story. You are not the one who lied, who cheated, who planned, who manipulated. They did that. And no matter what they say, no matter how they try to spin it, that will always be the truth. Pause. 7th, give yourself permission to grieve. Not just the relationship, but the future you thought you had, the plans you made, the dreams you shared, the life you were building. All of that is gone now, and it's okay to mourn it. It's okay to cry, to be angry, to feel lost, because you just lost something real. And pretending you didn't won't make it hurt less. Shaky breath. 8th, know that you will survive this. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know it feels like your entire world has ended, but it hasn't. You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still standing. And one day, sooner than you think, you're going to wake up and realize the pain isn't as sharp. The wound isn't as fresh. And you're starting to feel like yourself again. Pause. It won't be the same self. You'll be different, changed, but you'll be whole, and you'll be free. Deep breath, emotional. Lily is napping right now. I can hear her little snores through the monitor, the same monitor that saved my life 2 years ago. I look at her every day, and I think about how close I came to losing her. How if I hadn't been installing that monitor at that exact moment? If I hadn't heard that conversation, Nicole would have filed first. She would have controlled the narrative. She would have painted me as the bad guy, and I might have lost Lily. Voice breaking. But I didn't, because I listened. I documented. I planned, and I fought, and I won. Not because I'm special, not because I'm smarter or stronger or better than anyone else, but because I refuse to let someone rewrite my story. Pause. If you're going through this right now, here's what I want you to know. Your story isn't over. This chapter is painful. It's brutal. It's unfair. But it's not the end. You get to write the next part. You get to decide who you become after this. You get to choose strength over bitterness, truth over revenge, healing over anger. Deep breath. And when you do, when you come out the other side, you're going to look back and realize something. They didn't break you. They revealed you. Long pause. I'm not grateful for what Nicole did. I wouldn't wish this pain on anyone, but I am grateful for what I learned. I learned that I'm stronger than I thought. I learned that I can survive things I never imagined surviving. I learned that love isn't just a feeling. It's a choice. And I choose to love my daughter every single day, no matter what. Pause, voice soft. I learned that the truth always wins. Maybe not immediately, maybe not easily, but eventually. And I learned that sometimes the quietest acts of courage are the most powerful. Pause. Pressing record on that baby monitor was the bravest thing I've ever done, not because it was dramatic or heroic, but because it was the moment I chose myself, the moment I chose Lily, the moment I chose the truth. Deep breath. So if you're sitting there right now, wondering what to do, wondering if you're strong enough, wondering if you'll survive this, you will. You are, and you're not alone. Long pause, emotional. If this story hit you, if it resonated, if it reminded you that you're stronger than you think, drop a comment and tell me. Tell me where you're listening from. Tell me your story if you feel safe sharing it. Because I want you to know you're not alone in this. And neither am I. Pause. Hit subscribe for more stories about the quiet power of knowing when to listen and when to act. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't confrontation. It's documentation. And sometimes the best weapon isn't your voice. It's theirs. Long pause. My name is Marcus Chun. I'm a father, a survivor, a man who learned that the truth, no matter how painful, will always set you free. And I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, so can you. Soft Final. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. And if you're fighting your own battle right now, know this: you're going to make it. One day at a time. One breath at a time. You're going to make it. Long silence. And when you do, I'll be here, cheering you on.